I want to begin by thanking the staff and students from Bernie Wolf Community School for hosting myself and the Premier and our special guests this morning. I'd also like to acknowledge that we're on Treaty 1 territory and in the homeland of the Métis. Before I get underway, I'd also like to recognize that I have two colleagues in the room, James Teitzman, sorry, I keep doing that, from Radisson, and Blair Yakimowski from Transcona here, so thank you very much. I'm really pleased to have Blair as part of our caucus, because alphabetically I used to be the last one. Now we have Kim. And, it's my pleasure now to call upon the Honourable Brian Pallister.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here. It's a great honor to be here with you today. It is a special day, and we all know it's a special day for several reasons, but certainly we all have in our thoughts today our tremendous respect for our veterans, and as we commemorate the incredible emergence of the nation of Canada at Vimy Ridge, we all remember that, and we appreciate it, and we will remember. This is a great announcement today. This program that we're announcing will create safer, more respectful schools throughout our province. Respect in Schools programs build a strong foundation for respectful conduct by educating staff and volunteers about how to recognize, how to understand, and how to respond to bullying and abuse, harassment, and neglect. This program was developed by Respect Group Incorporated in conjunction with other mental health and child protection strategies already in place in our province. The program's making a tremendous difference in the lives of our children, and that's why I am so pleased today to announce that our government will be investing $100,000 annually over the next 3 years to make the Respect in School program available to all public, First Nations, and funded independent schools in Manitoba at no cost. There are a number of people I want to thank, and I'll thank you, I guess, through association with your organizations. I want to thank the Manitoba Association of School Superintendents, the Manitoba Association of School Business Officials, the Manitoba Association of Parent Councils as well, the Manitoba Teachers Society, Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Centre, Indigenous and Northern Affairs Canada, and the Manitoba Federation of Independent Schools, all of whom are supporting this initiative, and I thank each of your organizations for doing so. And can we show our appreciation for the work of each of these organizations today? And I'd like to also thank the River East Transcona School Division, not just for being our host today, but also for being a leader in implementing this program throughout their school division. No child in our province should suffer from bullying, harassment, abuse, or neglect. And by standing together and by using innovative programs such as Respect in School, we can stop this behavior in our schools, and we can stop it in our communities too. I like to say the only thing better than today in Manitoba is tomorrow in Manitoba, and I believe that, and I believe that by taking steps today to end bullying and abusive behavior, important steps like Respect for Schools program, we are building a better and brighter future and a better and brighter tomorrow for all our children as well. Thank you.
His disclosure of abuse he suffered as a teen has become an inspiration to millions of survivors around the world. Those who are not familiar with Sheldon's story, the documentary film Swift Current shares his powerful story and illustrates why we are all working together to prevent and stop the cycle of abuse. Please join me in welcoming Sheldon.
On discussions around how do we do better and be better and work more effectively and efficiently to get better outcomes for our children and families. And one of the pieces of legislation that was announced not long ago around the child protection piece of legislation around information sharing is critical, and it's critical for this work, and I think what we're talking about today is basically an extension of that. What we've learned in the 20 years of doing this work is that our biggest gap, not just in the education systems, but in the majority of the systems that are in place across this country is knowledge around the issues of child abuse, bullying, neglect, discrimination, and the impact of them. And I think the impact is where we need to focus. We focus a lot on the incident, but the impact is what we're left with. And if we look at mental health issues across this country, 80% of mental health issues across this country stem from adverse childhood experiences. Kids growing up in toxic stress environments that are sustained over long periods, and we know that. We've done over 6,000 investigations of child abuse in Alberta. And what we know is 98% of these kids know their abuser, and 47% of them are abused by a parent or caregiver. So the safest place for these kids a lot of times are our schools. And so the question becomes, because you're in that role and you may be the only trusted adult in these children's lives, and they disclose to you something that's going on, or you see signs that make your stomach turn, do we know what to do? And that's the question. Do we know what to do? We know that it's not mandatory training. It's not part of the curriculum for teachers to be trained in these issues coming out of teachers' college anywhere across this country. We know that. So for us, we have to make this type of training and this knowledge available to make good teachers better. A lot of times I believe that teachers want to do the right thing, they're not sure what to do. So basically, where we fit is that, you know what, this isn't just about teachers, this is about any adult that is within that school system. School bus drivers, the maintenance, parent volunteers. The more eyes we have on situations that are educated eyes, the safer we're going to be. If we look at individuals such as the Graham Jameses of the world, or the other 6,000 investigations we've done, they've operated within our communities, within our cities, within our organizations, because of our ignorance and indifference, lock, stock, and barrel. Our best defense is knowledge. Our best defense is creating a confidence to have conversations around difficult issues. And where we fit at Respect Group, Respect in Schools, is baseline one-on-one training around these issues. And that's where we fit, to create a standard. It's no different than women's training. If you look at women's training, before we step foot on a construction site, we've got to have women's training, we need a hard hat, we need glasses, we need steel-toed boots, we need a shiny vest. And when it comes to this stuff, well, we don't really have anything in place to work with our kids around these issues. So basically, we're trying to create a standard and make it a priority. And we're telling kids to tell, right? That's our biggest message. Tell, tell, tell. Make sure we talk, make sure you speak up. But I think the gap we're missing is giving teachers the tools to recognize how these kids are telling, because they tell in many different ways. So I'm really proud to have our First Nations school division here, our private schools division here. You know, is this the end-all be-all? It's not the end-all be-all, but the whole ultimate goal is to create a standard and a platform for conversation to happen around difficult issues. Because the way that we resolve these issues is through conversation and a collaborative conversation. And that's where that fits with the information sharing. The way we look at these issues, and I know the way it used to work, is we would disclose a case, it would go into the system, the kid would get spun-washed in the system, and then they might come back into school, they might not. So what kind of confidence does that create for reporting? And so anyway, I'm just honored to be here. We look at Manitoba as a province that has taken great leadership in this type of training. We look at our Respect in Sport training, mandatory for every coach across this province. This is an extension of that, and we're really proud to be here today, and we're really proud of the leadership shown by all the organizations that are with us today. And I also want to just thank all of the students that met us from the parking lot to every corner that we turned here. It was awesome. So thank you very much, and it's great to see you all, and thank you all for your leadership and your willingness to be better. Thank you.
Mr. Yakimowski, Mr. Teitzma, members of our esteemed education partners, MTS, MASS, and MAPSI, honored guests. On behalf of the Manitoba School Boards Association, it is a pleasure for me to join you on this special occasion. And what a special occasion it truly is. For the past year, two important changes have taken place. The first has been a surge in new user growth within the Respect in Schools program in Manitoba. The second is our change in leadership at the provincial level. I would like to speak to both of these in turn. Last year, our association invited Sheldon to take the stage at our annual convention. Evidently, school boards across our province were so captivated by Sheldon's message that they renewed their efforts to promote the Respect in Schools program. As an association, we also took extra measures to promote this excellent program with our members during the rest of the year. But as is sometimes the case, we had no way of knowing if our efforts to showcase a program like Respect in Schools would take flight. Well, the numbers are in, and without any doubt, our hopes are now soaring higher than ever before. In a few moments, River East Transcona Chair Colleen Carswell will speak to you about what Respect in Schools has meant for her division. They have maintained their lead province-wide in terms of the total number of staff and volunteers who have completed the program. A historical commitment on the part of River East Transcona that remains in flight. But we felt it important to also signal the important commitments that have occurred province-wide. To that end, I am very happy to single out some important people, many of whom have traveled considerable distances to join us for this important announcement. From the Brandon School Board, we have Trustee Pat Boslaw. In 2016-17, Brandon School Board grew from only 37 users to over 1,370 users. This represents nearly half of the total provincial growth achieved last year. This is an achievement that deserves special recognition as boards move forward to build upon our success. From the Sunrise School Board, we have Lynn Champagne, Chair, and Leslie Ebling-Trudell, Assistant Superintendent. Sunrise had the second highest growth in total new users last year. But what makes their accomplishment even more of a celebration is what this represents in terms of the division itself. As of today, 94% of all staff in Sunrise have completed Respect in Schools. The board anticipates that by the end of June, fully 100% of all staff will have completed the program, and the very first division that will have achieved universal completion of the program. Today's announcement will certainly help them reach this significant goal. Lastly, we have with us Julie Fisher, Chair of the Pembina Trails School Board. In this past year, Pembina Trails passed a motion making it mandatory for all staff and volunteers to complete Respect in Schools. Absolutely amazing and deserving of recognition. Given that Pembina Trails is one of Manitoba's largest school divisions, we anticipate new growth in 2017-18 to keep on rising, setting new records. Mr. Premier, Minister Wishart, this is the kind of leadership that makes a difference in the lives of our students. These are the kinds of partners who will benefit from the announcement that you have made here this morning. In this regard, I spoke of two changes happening over the past year. While the record number of new RIS users is certainly worthy of praise, the change in leadership of our provincial government has also seen renewed commitment to the cause of the Respect in Schools program. Last spring, our association was invited to attend the screening of Sheldon's outstanding documentary, Swift Current. At that point in time, Premier Pallister had just finished naming his new cabinet. When we attended the premiere that evening, nearly all cabinet members were in attendance to share in the experience, leading by example right from the very start. Then came Bill 8, the Protecting Children Act, through information sharing. This is the kind of legislation that matters. At the time this bill was introduced, members of the Canadian School Boards Association had just toured Sheldon and Wayne's Children's Advocacy Center. We knew without a doubt that the bill was intended to achieve the same advantages and benefits for our kids, our students, that were made possible in Calgary. And school board associations across Canada were informed that Minister Wishart had made a point of also touring the Children's Advocacy Center to see what might be possible to make a difference for our kids right here in Manitoba. To us, this demonstrated a government committed to actions beyond just words, a firm commitment to the cause of protecting children. As Manitoba School Boards Association, we could not have been more proud. And now we stand here this morning together as partners. We as school boards are very grateful to the province of Manitoba for its ongoing support of the Respect in Schools program. Clearly, with over 3,300 new users in Manitoba in the last year alone, This demonstrates how essential this program is to promoting safe and respectful learning experiences in our schools. The government's renewed funding guarantees that our staff and volunteers will continue to receive the information, the important training that Sheldon Kennedy and Wayne McNeil have developed for the benefit of our school communities. And to say that today's announcement has not gone unnoticed on the national stage would also be an understatement. Floyd Martins, president of the Canadian School Boards Association, wanted me to share an important message on behalf of all school boards in Canada this morning. As stated by Floyd, Manitoba remains a leader across Canada in the promotion of the Respect in Schools program. Today's funding announcement certainly strengthens Manitoba's resolve to provide schools and those working with students with the kinds of resources needed to achieve success. School boards across our country would encourage all provinces and territories to follow Manitoba's remarkable example so that all schools have the support needed to access this vital program free of charge. Premier Pallister, Minister Wishart, Mr. Teitzma, and Mr. Yakimowski, on behalf of all school boards, I want to thank you and your team for your demonstrated leadership and commitment to this important cause. In years ahead, with the expansion of this important Respect in Schools program to our partners across the First Nations and independent schools networks, we know that all Manitoba students will reap the benefits of those who have been trained to serve them well in years ahead. We would welcome these important partners to join with us as we continue to learn and share the best ways to promote this program within our schools. Finally, I would be remiss if I did not thank Sheldon Kennedy and Wayne McNeil and all the staff of the Respect Group for your ongoing initiative in seeking the best way to protect our children. For your ceaseless commitment to standing up for those students who, whether in school or through sport, often find themselves in need of an advocate. For all those who have experienced bullying, neglect, and abuse, Respect in Schools is a true lifeboat. Thank you, Sheldon and Wayne, for helping us to equip our teachers, staff, and volunteers to recognize the signs and to meaningfully intervene. It is always a real pleasure to work with you. And once again, thank you, Premier Pallister and Minister Wishart, for helping us in our important and ongoing endeavor. Without you, we could not achieve the kinds of supports that are also needed in Manitoba schools. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ken, for those very kind words, and I know that we can count on the support of the Manitoba School Boards Association now and into the future to help deliver this particular program.
Sheldon Kennedy, co-founder of the Respect in Schools program, and Ken Cameron, the president of our Manitoba School Boards Association, for being here this morning. We are truly honored, gentlemen, so thank you, and thank you also to Minister Wishart. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Premier for making the revised Respect in School online program a priority. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Premier Pallister. Our heartfelt thanks to you, Sheldon, for your role in creating this program and bringing this much-needed attention to these issues. Your leadership, your foresight, and your experience will help us to be successful so we can develop positive outcomes and respectful situations in all of our schools for every student. River East Transcona School Division is very proud to have implemented the Respect in School training with all of our employees. Let me say that one more time, with all of our employees. We even have trustees taking it. We truly believe it is a very efficient and effective tool for instilling the confidence our employees need to deal with issues of bullying and abuse. It also ties in very nicely with other initiatives and policies that we already have in place that build positive school cultures. We have taken a leadership role here in River East Transcona, introducing the Respect in School program, and we are very pleased to hear that the Manitoba government will make the program available to all school divisions in the province at no extra cost. It is a great investment. Anytime that you can create a safe, respectful school, you are giving both students and staff a greater advantage to be successful, both personally and educationally. But I would be remiss if I didn't give my sincere thanks to the staff who have worked so hard here in River East Transcona. Assistant Superintendent Joan Trubeck. Joan, could you please stand? Joan and her team have worked diligently here since its inception, so thank you very much, Joan, to yourself and your team. Thank you again, Premier Pallister. We sincerely appreciate you coming here this morning to make this very important announcement, and we look forward to working with you and your government in the future. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Colleen. And I'd like to thank all of the speakers this morning, in particular Premier Pallister, Ken, Colleen. I appreciate your kind remarks. And especially want to thank Sheldon and Wayne, not only for being here today, but for all of the work that you have done in developing this program to make it available and how well it is working in our system. I know it's been involved in sport for some time and it grew out of that. But I think, honestly, it will make a significant difference in the schools across the province of Manitoba. So thank you all for being here this morning, and that's it. Thank you.